10 golden age stars who cheated with their co-stars. Number 3 is heartbreaking. Behind the glitz and glamour of Hollywood's golden age lay secrets that studio executives paid millions to hide. The passionate affairs, heartbreaking betrayals, and career-destroying scandals that unfolded when the cameras stopped rolling. While America idolized these larger-than-life stars as paragons of virtue and romance, the truth behind closed doors was far more scandalous than anything that ever made it to the silver screen. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on Hollywood's most explosive secret. The forbidden romances that ignited between married co-stars when directors yelled, "Cut!" These weren't just casual flings. They were passionate, destructive love affairs that shattered marriages, ruined reputations, and in one heartbreaking case cost a beloved actress nearly everything she held dear. You think the tabloids today are scandalous? The golden age of Hollywood wrote the rule book on concealing celebrity indiscretions. Studio fixers worked around the clock to ensure these affairs remained hidden from the public, going to extraordinary lengths to maintain the carefully crafted images of their valuable stars. Photographers were paid off, hotel staff were silenced, and in some shocking cases, even pregnancies were elaborately concealed through a web of deception that seems almost unbelievable today. What makes these stories so compelling isn't just the scandal. It's understanding how these forbidden romances transformed. Hollywood history films we cherish today were often created amid emotional turmoil as real-life affairs played out between takes. The chemistry that captivates us on screen wasn't always acting. It was the visible evidence of passion that couldn't be contained even as cameras rolled. By the time you finish this video, you'll understand why one film historian remarked, "The real dramas in Hollywood never made it to the screen. They happen in dressing rooms and on location shoots, where passion overruled professional boundaries and sometimes destroyed lives in the process." Stay with us as we reveal the 10 most shocking co-star affairs from Hollywood's golden era. Stories of passion, betrayal, and in the case of number 3, a heartbreaking price that forever changed one star's life. And legacy. Oh, I wish you hadn't. Why not? Oh, I haven't let myself think about that. 1. Clark Gable and Loretta Young, The Secret Child. When Clark Gable and Loretta Young were cast in Call the Wild in 1935, studio executives never anticipated the life-changing consequences their on-location romance would create. Gable, already married to his second wife, Maria Rhea Langham, was Hollywood's reigning king. Young was a devout Catholic known for her wholesome image and strict moral code. Their affair began during the frigid shoot in Washington state. Isolated from civilization and away from prying eyes, Gable's charm proved irresistible to the 22-year-old Young. According to the film's assistant director, the isolation created this bubble where normal rules didn't seem to apply. They thought no one would ever know. But reality came crashing down when Young discovered she was pregnant. A potentially career-ending scandal for both stars. What follows was one of Hollywood's most elaborate cover-ups. Young disappeared from public view, secretly gave birth to a daughter, and then orchestrated a bizarre adoption of her own child. She later returned to Hollywood with what she claimed was her newly adopted daughter. Judy, a makeup artist who worked with Young later, revealed it wasn't just an affair. It was a lifelong secret with a child at the center. Loretta would do her own daughter's makeup before anyone came to the house, darkening her eyebrows and reshaping her ears, which were identical to Gable's. The lengths she went to hide the truth were heartbreaking. For decades, Young maintained the adoption story, even to Judy herself. It wasn't until 1966 that Judy discovered the truth, overhearing a stranger remark on her striking resemblance to Clark Gable. When confronted, Young finally admitted the secret she had kept for more than 30 years. What makes this affair particularly remarkable is how successful the cover-up was. In an era before digital manipulation and social media, Young's career survived intact. Gable never publicly acknowledged his daughter, and the studio system protected its valuable assets at all costs. Judy Lewis, the product of this secret affair, later became an actress herself and wrote in her memoir, "I lived my life as a lie. My birth was a shameful secret that had to be hidden at all costs. And I never understood why until I was an adult, looking into a mirror and seeing Clark Gable staring back at me." The affair between Gable and Young didn't just create momentary scandal. It created a living secret that three people carried for decades, reshaping their lives in ways that reverberated far beyond that remote film set-in. 1935. What I feel I should have felt. Long ago, when I was very young, when I could say to myself that this was how love was. 2. Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton. Erotic vagrancy. Perhaps no Hollywood affair has ever captured public attention like the explosive romance between Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton on the set of Cleopatra in 1963. What began as the most expensive film ever made quickly became the backdrop for the scandal of the century. Taylor was married to her fourth husband, singer Eddie Fisher, whom she had notoriously stolen from America's sweetheart Debbie Reynolds. Just a few years earlier, Burton was married to Sybil Williams, his wife of 14 years. None of these commitments mattered once Taylor and Burton locked eyes. Their attraction was immediate and overwhelming. The film's director, Joseph L. Manuik, later claimed, "I would say cut, and they would still be kissing." It wasn't acting. It was the real thing happening right there on film. The production became secondary to their burgeoning affair, with shooting schedules frequently delayed because the stars disappeared to their dressing rooms together. What distinguished this affair from others in Hollywood history was that they made absolutely no attempt to hide it. They flaunted their passion openly in restaurants and hotels across Rome where the film was being shot. Photos of their intimate moments splashed across newspapers worldwide, creating a media firestorm unlike anything Hollywood had seen before. The scandal reached such proportions that the Vatican issued a formal condemnation accusing Taylor of erotic vagrancy and condemning their behavior as a threat to the institution of marriage. Even the U.S. government got involved with a congressman, denouncing their moral degradation on the floor of the House of Representatives. A Cleopatra crew member later revealed they didn't care who they hurt as long as they had each other. It was like watching two people possessed. Nothing else mattered. Not their spouses, not their careers, not even the millions of dollars at stake in the production. They were consumed by each other. The affair destroyed both their marriages. Taylor divorced Pfizer, Burton divorced Williams. And in 1964, the scandalous lovers married, but their passion remained as volatile as it had been on set. They divorced in 1974, remarried in 1975, and divorced again in 1976. Their relationship as dramatic off-screen as any role they ever played. Film historian David Thompson wrote, "Their affair didn't just change their lives, it transformed Hollywood itself." After Burton and Taylor, the public's expectation of star behavior changed. The era of carefully managed images was giving way to a new, more transparent celebrity culture. Their legendary passion produced some of cinema's most memorable collaborations, including Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, where their real-life volatility infused their performances with an authenticity that couldn't be faked. But it also left tremendous pain in its wake for their abandoned spouses, for their children, and ultimately for each other. You revealed the big secret that your mother is Ingrid Bergman. The other big secret is your father is the great filmmaker Roberto Rossellini. You grew up in Rome. Thank you. 3. Ingrid Bergman and Roberto Rossellini. The heartbreaking price. Now we come to the most devastating affair on our list. One that cost its star nearly everything she held dear. When Ingrid Bergman traveled to Italy in 1949 to film Stromboli with acclaimed neo-realist director Roberto Rossellini, she was at the pinnacle of Hollywood stardom. Fresh from classics like Casablanca and Notorious, Bergman embodied wholesomeness and grace to millions of adoring fans. Rossellini was married with a son, and Bergman was married to neurosurgeon Peter, Lindstrom, with whom she had a 10-year-old daughter, Pia. But within weeks of meeting, Bergman and Rossellini were embroiled in a passionate affair. Their remote filming location on the volcanic island of Stromli provided little privacy, and news of their relationship quickly reached the press. Then came the announcement that shook Hollywood. Bergman was pregnant with Rossellini's child. In an era when morality clauses were standard in studio contracts, this was more than scandal. It was professionals. The backlash was immediate and merciless. Bergman was denounced from pulpits across America. Theater owners removed her pictures from lobbies and refused to show her films. Most shockingly, she was even condemned on the floor of the United States Senate, where Colorado Senator Edwin Johnson declared her a powerful influence for evil and Hollywood's apostle of degradation. The most devastating consequence came when her ex-husband Lindstrom refused to let Bergman see their daughter, Pia. The courts granted him full custody, and Bergman was effectively separated from her firstborn child for many years. A close friend of Bergman's,